So Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan is officially official. They had the kickoff press conference in London today, answered questions, did the face-off, all that good stuff. Now, one interesting bit of information which has emerged from the press conference and also some interviews that Amir Khan has done over the past 24 hours is that Khan is back with Virgil Hunter. This, as far as I'm concerned, is a very, very important and very good move by Amir Khan, because I think Virgil Hunter can get the best out of Amir Khan. Amir Khan is a fighter who needs very strict instruction, a very strict game plan. He needs very clear very clear instructions on what to do in the ring. He's not a fighter who is that good at figuring the best thing to do out for himself when he's in a boxing match. He's not the most intuitive fighter out there. He's blessed with tremendous hand speed and athleticism and all that kind of business, but he's often very reckless. He often fights with his heart rather than his head. He's often unaware defensively and doesn't make the right tactical moves. So he needs a trainer who's going to tell him what to do step by step and keep him on track. And of all the trainers that he's had, I think Virgil Hunter does by far the best job of doing that. Now, he did get knocked out by Canelo, but I think he was always going to get knocked out by Canelo regardless who was training him. But I think the best form of Amir Khan's career from a technical point of view has been under Virgil Hunter and a tactical point of view. So I think it's very good that Khan is back with him. And I do think this increases Khan's chances of pulling off the upset. Am I picking Khan to win? Definitely not. Terence Crawford is pound for pound top 5 in the world. And he's pound for pound top 5 for a reason, because he's that good. He hasn't fought as many times at welterweight as Amir Khan has, though. That has to be said. And Khan has fought better fighters, I would say, at 140 and 147 than Terence Crawford has. Khan has been in there with Marcus Maidana. Khan has been in there with, Louis Collazo. He's been in there with Devon Alexander. He's been in there with Danny Garcia. I mean, he hasn't won all these fights, obviously, but he's been in there, I would say, with higher level 140 and 147 pounders than Terence Crawford has been in there with. Now, in a couple of previous videos, I said that Amir Khan is the bigger man here. And he appeared to be bigger, at least in body mass, during this face-off. But I suspect that's because Khan has maybe been overeating a little bit and he's a bit out of shape, looking a little bit chubby in the face. Crawford appears to be a lot closer to fight weight. So when they're both in shape, perhaps Amir Khan won't really appear any bigger at all. And some people are claiming that Terence Crawford is actually bigger than Khan in terms of natural body mass. And who knows? Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I genuinely don't know. But what I do know is Amir Khan has fought far more 147-pound fighters and 140-pound fighters than Terence Crawford has. Yeah, Khan has fought, as the people I've just mentioned, the Devon Alexanders of the world, even Chris Algieri's was at 140, the Marcus Maidanas and all these kind of people, the Zab Judas. He's fought lots of people who have campaigned their entire career at 140 and 147. So will Terence Crawford's size be an issue for Amir Khan? Will Khan, pause, will Terence Crawford be able to physically impose himself on Khan? Or will Khan's experience of having been in there with many welterweights and 140-pounders over the years come into play? And will he actually hold his own in terms of the physical strength department with Terence Crawford? We know Khan is very fast, probably got quicker hands than Crawford. And in fact, I would say he's definitely got quicker hands than Crawford. It's not like Crawford is slow, but I would say, Khan's very fast. I'd say he's faster than Crawford in terms of the hand speed. Foot speed, I don't think there's much in it. In fact, I might even give Terence Crawford a slight edge on foot speed. Terence Crawford's pretty nimble. He can get around that ring. But in terms of ring IQ and overall skill, it has to go to Terence Crawford. Crawford hasn't shown any punch resistance issues as well since moving up through 140 and 147, because you remember earlier on in his career when he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, he was wobbling in that fight, but since moving up in weight, his punch resistance hasn't seemed suspect at all. So perhaps Terence Crawford also has the much better chin in this fight, and it wouldn't be difficult. Let's be real. Amir Khan is very vulnerable around the whiskers. So look, it's not the fight that we wanted for Terence Crawford. We wanted Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. We wanted Terence Crawford versus Keith Thurman or Sean Porter. But there is a new Cold War in American boxing, and that is between Bob Arum and Al Heyman. The old Cold War was between Bob Arum and Golden Boy, but I guess that's when Golden Boy were also associated with Al Heyman. So maybe it's just a continuation of the old Cold War in a different way. Now, Bob Arum has accused Al Heyman of keeping all his fighters in-house and not risking his fighters against fighters who are promoted by other promotional outfits. And I do find it a bit hypocritical of Bob Arum to be saying this, because look how many times Bob Arum matched Manny Pacquiao against Marquez. 4 times. Then he had Alvarado and Rios fighting in in-house fights. Then he had Marquez fight Bradley. Then he had Bradley fight Pacquiao a few times. Then he had Marquez fight Alvarado. You know, Bob Arum had his own in-house situation going on for many years. And Provodnikov and all that kind of stuff, and then Pacquiao and Algier. I mean, there was an in-house situation that Bob Arum was running for a long time. So for him to say that Al Heyman is a cancer for boxing or whatever he did say, I just find it hypocritical. I think that most promoters, when they can, when it suits them, they try and keep things in-house. I think Al Heyman does that, even though he's not officially a promoter. I think he does that. I think Bob Arum has definitely done that in the past, and Eddie Hearn has done it to a certain extent too. But at the same time, Al Heyman has risked some of his fighters against non-Heyman fighters. I mean, you remember when he put Andre Durrell in against James DeGale. DeGale wasn't a Al Heyman fighter at the time. He obviously sent Charles Martin over to the UK to fight Anthony Joshua. He fought Dominic Brazil over to the UK to fight Anthony Joshua. These guys were losing their unbeaten records against AJ. Al Heyman was letting them do it. Al Heyman obviously let Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury recently. So, you know, I do think Bob Arum's claims that Heyman is just this cancer for boxing and he never lets any of his fighters fight anyone who's outside of his promotional control, I think that's a bit disingenuous to suggest that. As I say, I think all promoters do that to some extent. They don't do it in totality, but when it suits them, they try and keep things in-house. But anyway, back to this fight, Khan Crawford. Crawford is a switch hitter, but he primarily prefers to fight out of the southpaw stance from the many fights of his that I've seen. But he switches seamlessly. Khan is notoriously good against southpaws, that has to be said. So we'll see which stance Terence Crawford elects to adopt. Crawford, I think, has shown decent power at 147 without appearing to be the new Tommy Hearns or anything. He's shown decent power. He's been dropping people and stopping people, hurting them. Can he hurt Khan? I certainly think he can. Khan was hurt in his last fight against the fighter way below Terence Crawford's level, and I don't think that he was even on Terence Crawford's level in terms of punching power. So I believe Terence Crawford has more than enough power to hurt, drop, and stop Amir Khan. Will he struggle with Khan's speed if Khan keeps his distance now that he's back with Virgil Hunter, hopefully boxing a much more disciplined fight? How will Terence Crawford cope with that? Again, to me, it's a fun fight. It's not the fight we wanted because of the Cold War between Arum and Heyman, but it's still fun. And again, you can't blame Amir Khan for taking this fight instead of the Kell Brook fight, even though in the UK, we pretty much all would prefer to see Khan Brook. We find it more interesting and entertaining. because of the narrative, the backstory. But Khan is taking on one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world for a world title at welterweight. Can he really turn down the opportunity for legacy? In years to come, what's going to seem like a more worthwhile risk? Taking on one of the pound-for-pound best in the sport who's potentially a future all-time great, or taking on Kell Brook? Yeah, Brook is going to pay you a lot more money, but if he was to beat Terence Crawford, whoa. I mean, Khan would be in a whole new level. and that would make Kell Brook sick to his stomach if Khan was to pull off the upset there. And far from making Khan Brook more likely, I think it would make Khan Brook even more unlikely. And some people are speculating about if Khan beats Terence Crawford, he might sail off into the sunset and forget about Eddie Hearn. Maybe he'll go back to the United States. And I'm assuming because this is a voluntary defense that there has to be a rematch clause in place. So Terence Crawford will get a second bite at the cherry if he does come unstuck here. But maybe Khan has that in mind. Maybe he has it in mind of, beating Terence Crawford, doing the rematch, beating him again, and then fighting Al Heyman's guys. Because to my knowledge, Khan is no longer under advisory contract with Al Heyman, to my knowledge. Okay. But perhaps he wants to go back there. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this fight. Do you hate the fight? Do you like the fight? Do you think it's a fun fight? How do you think it's going to play out from a style point of view, from an ability point of view, from a tactics point of view? And what do you make of Amir Khan joining back up with Virgil Hunter? Do you think, like me, that this is the best move he could have possibly made? And, it's not to say that Joe Goosen is a bad trainer. He's not a bad trainer at all. I just don't think he was the right trainer for Amir Khan. And I suspect that Khan and his team realized that. They realized that Goosen ain't the guy for Khan. Khan needs somebody who can keep him to a strict game plan and minimize his mistakes, because Khan doesn't have the highest boxing IQ. He doesn't have a boxing IQ like a Terence Crawford or a Mayweather or many other fighters. And Alvarez, people who are the upper echelons of boxing, he doesn't have that kind of IQ. He has the athleticism, which allows him to get to a certain level and allows him to be competitive with a lot of the elite guys, at least for a few rounds. But beyond that, they figure him out, they get used to the speed, they start timing him, and they realize that he's a little bit of a one-trick pony at times, Amir Khan, because his boxing IQ is not that high, not elite level high anyway. But with Virgil Hunter back in his corner, he's, I think, got the best possible opportunity to spring off an upset here. I'm not picking Khan to win this fight, by the way. Don't get it twisted. I don't want nobody to misconstrue or misquote what I'm saying. I'm not picking Khan to win at all. I'm just saying that Virgil Hunter being in his corner improves whatever chance he has. Even if it's a tiny, minute chance of winning, Virgil Hunter increases the chance by a few percent, I would say. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.